Hello scholars, you're welcome back to class. Last class we discussed the topic prose and features of prose. We learned that prose is a narrative work of art that is written in chapters and paragraphs. We learned the various features of prose, which are plot, characterization, setting, theme, etc. In today's class, we would be learning the types of prose. There are two types of prose. They are fiction and non-fiction. Fiction is an imaginative story which is usually not true. Fiction is based on the writer's creativity, imagination, and inspiration. They are not true. Examples of fiction are novels, short stories, novelettes, fables, and myths. Novel is a long narrative writing which depicts life with imaginary characters. A novel is usually more than 15,000 words, while a novelette is short, simple, and can be read in a sitting. The difference between novel and novelette is the length. A novelette has the maximum of 10,000 to 14,000 words, while a novel has more than 15,000 words. Also, short story is another form of fiction. It is smaller than a novelette. It is an account of a single event or some related event. Some of us must have seen books that have very short stories, maybe tortoise and the hare and so on. Fable is another form of fiction. This is a novel where animals are given human characters and they talk to one another. This is where you have some books in which the characters are animals and these animals interact with one another. Example of such book is George Orwell's Animal Farm. Lastly, myth is a form of fiction. This has to do with an imaginary oral tale of gods and heroes which are passed down from one generation to another. Moving on to non-fiction. Non-fiction is a type of prose that is based on true story. It captures events that really happened and it is devoid of the writer's imagination and inspiration. And they are not fake, they are real. They are not based on the writer's imagination or inspirations. They are events that happened in reality. Examples of non-fiction are biography, autobiography, letters, memos, etc. What is a biography? A biography is the life history of a person written by another person. The life history of a person written by another person. If you have been to a funeral service before and a pamphlet was printed out and you would see at the back of the pamphlet you would see something like biography, the life history of that person, but now it is not written by that person, it is written by another person. So that's an example of biography. While autobiography is the life history of a person written by the same person. The life history of a person written by the same person. You can sit down. Some of you have diaries. You keep diaries, you write out happenings, things that have happened to you, things that, some events that happened in your life. That's an example of non-fiction. Memo is another form of non-fiction. It is a narrative writing based on the author's personal memories. That is when an author writes about his or her memories of events that actually happened. It is an example of non-fiction. And lastly, letter is another form of non-fiction. It is a written message addressed to a person or an organization. It often contains personal thoughts and opinions which are directed at a particular person or organization. So these are examples of forms of non-fictions. Hope we have learned today. There are two types of prose, fiction and non-fiction, and we have seen the examples of non-fiction as well as the examples of fiction. Thank you for watching. See you in the next class. Bye.